Welcome, crypto fam, to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. In today's show, I'll be sharing the latest Bitcoin technical analysis as crypto liquidations hit 350 million as Bitcoin drops below 69 Gs. We'll also be discussing Deutsche Telekom ventures into the Bitcoin mining with renewable energy. We'll also be discussing crypto whales bet big on Trump, on a Trump victory, that is, ahead of the U.S. election, which is officially tomorrow. We'll also be discussing crypto fund sees 2.2 billion of inflows amid the U.S. election hype. I'll be breaking this down for you. And also, Bernstein projects Bitcoin smashing 200,000 per coin by the end of next year. And speaking of bullish price predictions, we also have a Forbes article just published that says, can Bitcoin reach 1 million by 2025? I'll be breaking down why this is a possibility with a Trump victory. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more, in today's show. And if you're new to the stream, important to smash the likes and go ahead and subscribe on the YouTube channel and hit the bell icon, turn on all notifications to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day, 7 days a week, just like this. Today is pod episode 1808. I'm your host, JV. It's November 4th, 2024. It's pre-election day, so our focus and most of the topics here in the show are going to be centered around the U.S. election, as well as the likelihood of what's going to happen in the Bitcoin markets as a result. So let's dive right in, shall we? Let's kick it off with our market watch, as we do each and every day. Bitcoin pulling back, a great BTFD opportunity, as Bitcoin is down 2% on the day, maintaining above 67,700. Ether down 1.5%, struggling to maintain above 2,400, while Doge, XRP, and Sheep are in the green. And checking out coinmarketcap.com. The current crypto market cap sits at $2.23 trillion. That's right. And we got 75 billion worth of volume in the past 24 hours, up approximately 10%. Now check out this Bitcoin dominance. I'm going to be pulling up the live Bitcoin dominance chart in a bit, but it's the highest we have been in years. 60.1%. Just like that. And the Ether dominance falls all the way down to 13.1%. So you already know. And checking out top 100 crypto gainers past 24 hours, we got the infamous Doge up 7% on the day, followed by Ray, followed by Athena. Let me know which alts, if any, you're bullish on for the bull. Holla at your boy. And checking out the crypto bubbles, we get a visual perspective on the daily. I'd say 90% of the market correcting and in the red, only 10% in the green. Very modest gains there. And checking out on the monthly, similar story, 80-20, definitely in the red. Lots of corrections here in the alt market. And checking out the crypto greed and fear index. The other day we hit a 74. Today we're back down to a 70, but still in greed. Last week was a 72, and last month a 49. Which is neutral. And checking out the time chain calendar, we have 181,121 blocks to go until Bitcoin halving 2028. We're currently on block number 868,879. You can currently exchange $1 for 1,478 Satoshis. So stack them sats, fam, accordingly. Welcome, everybody. Let's continue with today's technical analysis, aka astrology for the broskies. We'll also be pulling up some of the live charts, including the Bitcoin dominance chart, which I've never pulled up on a live before. So there's a first time for everything. Here the headline reads, Trump dump. Crypto liquidations hit 350 million as the Bitcoin price drops below 69 G's, baby. That's right. Crypto market liquidations almost hit 350 million as Bitcoin briefly dropped below 69,000, with traders seemingly jittery in the lead up to the U.S. presidential election tomorrow, November 5th. In all, 350 million was liquidated across 259 million long bets and 90 million short bets on November 3rd, according to CoinGlass. It was the biggest day of liquidation since October 25th, when Bitcoin failed to sustain a rally past 70 Gs. Bitcoin has seen wide price swings over the past 7 days, starting on October 28th, sitting at 67.7, reaching a high of almost 73.3. In fact, on Coinbase, I know because we we monitored it live, it was actually 73.6 and some change, which is virtually on the cusp of price discovery, which we achieved back in mid-March when we tapped 73.8. So you already know all-time highs in play, family. It quickly recovered. We're now trading actually in the $68,000 range at the time of the live. Bitcoin's roller coaster ride action comes as the odds gap between U.S. presidential bidders, Trump and Kamala, has tightened on the crypto native betting platform Polymarket. In early October, Trump overtook Harris on Polymarket as the likely winner, with the odds of winning peaking at 67%. On October 30th, that is now seen as a sharp correction down to 56%, and I think it bounced a little bit more here this morning. But anyways, the crypto industry views the Republican presidential candidate as a friendlier option, as Trump has promised, amongst other pledges, to fire the chairman of the SEC. You're fired, Gary. Now go home and get your shine box. He also pledged to make the United States of America the Bitcoin mining hub of the entire world. He also mentioned stockpiling the biddy. Naturally, he spoke at the Bitcoin conference in Nashville, Tennessee. Let's not forget, Harris was not at that event. Anyways, she has come out and said she would support crypto, but we all know, trust nothing a politician says. You got to watch their actions, in my humble opinion. Let me know if you agree or disagree. But Trump winning the odds on Polymarket now more closely aligned with the polling data, which shows that he is essentially neck and neck with Harris, who had a 0.9 percentage point lead back on November 3rd. 538 data shows, as outlined here in the chart. Now, some traders speculated Bitcoin could hit 100,000 if Trump wins the election this year. In fact, I'll be discussing this analysis from Bernstein analysts suggesting $200,000 Trump pump and 100,000 for this year. We'll also be discussing $1 million Trump pump by the end of 2025 from this Forbes article, which was just recently published. I'll be breaking down some of the math behind that. Now, let's pull up some of the live charts. Give me a second to switch the scene up for y'all, and welcome everyone just joining us. Let's first start here. We've never looked and dissected the Bitcoin dominance chart, but considering Bitcoin dominance just hit a new high of 60.54%, which is the local high, and look at the chart. I mean, the chart speaks volumes. Bitcoin dominance continuing to climb, take market share from the rest of the alts. The Ether dominance is on a steady decline, dropping to 13%. So this is the daily chart for the Bitcoin dominance, and let's get some different looks. This is the daily. Let's check out the weekly, and this is the weekly. You can see the trend is just very clear. Bitcoin dominance continuing to rise. We do have a target. What is that target? 116. Interesting. And then we have that green target at 111 and a red target at 74 with a rising wedge formation on the Bitcoin dominance chart. And let's just get one different time frame. We'll zoom in because that was a zoom out from the daily. Let's check out the 4 hour just to get some different looks. Just very bullish, as you can see. And going to the price action via Coinbase, this is the 1 hour. We do have a bull target on the 1 hour chart via Coinbase, via TradingView, and it's sitting at 73.4, which is approximately right on the cusp of price discovery. So 74 definitely in play. We're not far away from there, but we're currently consolidating. But zooming out from the hourly, we'll take a quick look at the 4 hour. The 4 hour chart, you can see we had a big corrective red candle, which took us down here just recently, but we still have some bull targets, one in the blue at 81.3, which takes us to a new all-time high. Let's go, November bull. We also have a bullish pennant formation with a target sitting at 78.8, bullish, and we do have a 73.4 target. So all bullish targets on the 4 hour chart. And zooming out from there, we'll take a quick glimpse of the 1 day chart. We had a nice run up for 4 days, green consecutive daily closes, and then virtually 4 consecutive red daily closes. So not looking so great on the daily chart. And zooming out from there, we have the 1 week, which still has the sexy cup and handle target in the red on your screen, which you can see sitting at 124,000. That's the bull target. The bear target is in alignment with Muhammad's prediction of 25 G's. And zooming out from there, we'll take a quick look at the monthly, get a broad perspective. The past couple of months, we had green monthly candle closes for September and October. We're now in November. I think the bullishness is likely to continue. Hopefully, we get a big, strong Godzilla green candle. But let me know how you feel the price action will likely do. More bullish news, Deutsche Telekom ventures into the Bitcoin mining with renewable energy. The future of energy is renewable. Free energy. Nikola Tesla discovered free energy like 100 plus years ago. It's been suppressed ever since. You can thank the Rockefellers for that one. But anyways, I digress. Deutsche Telekom plans to venture into the Bitcoin mining in a positive sign of adoption for the biddy. Deutsche Telekom, Europe's largest telecommunications provider, announced a new Bitcoin mining project using surplus energy from renewable sources that would otherwise remain unused. Okay. The mining project, called Digital Monetary Photosynthesis, is developed by the Deutsche Telekom subsidiary, MMS, collaboration with Bankhaus Metzler. The Bitcoin mining rigs will be set up in Backnang, Germany, on the premises of metal and glass facades manufacturer Riva, with the rigs managed by Metis Solutions, Deutsche Telekom announced November 11th. Interesting. Now, I think they must be assuming October 11th, considering, unless this article was written from the future, because correct me if I'm wrong, family. Today is November 4th, and they said they just announced it on November 11th. So we're going to assume they meant October 11th, and they're not from the future, but anything is possible in this chaotic world. The telecommunications giant announced comes week after the Bitcoin white paper turned 16, showcasing the utility and continued global adoption of the world's first blockchain network, the Biddy. Deutsche Telekom's pilot project arose from a growing amount of renewable energy sources. The country's growing energy supply from less predictable sources, like wind turbines, requires more infrastructure to regulate the grid. According to Oliver Niederl, head of the digital trust of the Web3 infrastructure of Deutsche Telekom MMS, Bitcoin mining could be used to regulate the energy fluctuations of the country's electrical grid. Here's what they shared in the announcement. Together with Bankhaus Metzler and Riva Engineering GmbH, we are taking a step in the direction to test the regulatory effect of the Bitcoin miners in the energy grid. Surplus energy is converted into the digital values to the miners. We call this the digital monetary photosynthesis. How many of you remember science class back in the day? I remember photosynthesis. But anyways, beyond the Bitcoin mining facility, they'll explore further possibilities of financial services with digital assets without disclosing further details. Bigger picture, very bullish, family. The use cases of the Bitcoin mining extend far beyond its economic benefit for the miners. For example, in Finland, Bitcoin mining is warming an entire town of over 11,000 residents with recycled heat from the mining rigs. That's what's up. We need that in Puerto Rico. Electricity costs are outrageous down yonder. The town is heated by a 2-megawatt pilot project located in the Sakatonte region, launched in June of 2024 by Marathon Digital, the world's largest Bitcoin miner. Now, Marathon's facility uses a method called the district heating, which centrally heats the water and distributes it through an underground network of pipes to heat the houses. This could be a future-proof method of heating the home, since Bitcoin mining rigs produce significant excess heat, yo. But there you go. Let me know your thoughts. I mean, obviously, it's not just the United States. We have the UK and nations all around the world adopting the Bitcoin, whether directly or indirectly, whether through mining or whether through ETFs, sovereign wealth fund, nation state adoption. You name it. Speaking of Trump, the next headline reads, crypto whales bet big on Trump win ahead of the election. And I see we have over 800 people here live and in the flesh. Keep the comments flowing, fam. Greatly appreciate y'all. Yeah, so Trump, yes, votes on the leading decentralized prediction market are largely controlled by a few mysterious entities, as political bettors place millions of dollars on the November 5th U.S. presidential election, one day out, yo. Over 50% of the Trump shares have been acquired by 5 whales, or large investors, according to synonymous political bettor Domer. Now, this could result in a payday exceeding $81 million for the whales. Let's go, whales. Trump, yes, shares are very highly concentrated. 5 fat cat accounts own 50% of the 162 million shares, including La Giga Whale, with nearly 1/3 all by himself. Who do you think that whale is, yo? Those 5 will be paid out $81 million if Trump wins. I mean, the numbers don't lie. Will Donald Trump win the 2024 U.S. presidential election? You can see the Trump whale has 29%. That's crazy, just one whale. But in contrast, shares for Kamala are more distributed, with the top 5 shareholders holding 18% of her yes votes. Harris's largest shareholder has only 4% of her shares, while Trump's top shareholder controls 29%. Shows you the confidence show. The revelation comes hours ahead of the U.S. election, which is becoming a focal point for the crypto investors, as it could shape the regulatory landscape of the industry for the next 4 years. At least 4 of the top 6 Trump bettors, including accounts XZG, whatever, and Freddie quadruple 9. My guess is that it is a true believer who is very rich and trying to make a big bet. He is getting more confident as the price goes higher and is in the confirmation bias loop where new information keeps increasing his confidence. Now, clearly, they must know something. Who puts roughly whatever $80 million on a bet on who's going to win the election? I would assume that's a multi-billionaire, because hypothetically, would you invest close to $100 million on a bet if you didn't own at least $1 billion of net worth? Just common sense, right? But despite some weekend volatility, Trump remains in the lead on the top decentralized betting market, Poly Market. Trump's odds for the presidential victory currently stand at 56.9%. And if this has changed any since this article was published, can someone notify me in the comments, and I'll update you guys when I read the comments. And Harris is at 43%. So clearly Trump is up roughly 12, 13%. Numbers don't lie. Check the scoreboard, fam. Trump's lead is smaller on other betting markets. Over Kalshi, 54% of the bettors are anticipating a Trump pump with a Trump victory, while 46% have gone for Harris. Those are the numbers. Traditional polling systems paint an entirely different picture. Not surprised. Harris's odds of a presidential victory at 49%, leading Trump. According to the New York Times national polling average, here's one thing I know for sure. I don't trust the lamestream media by any means necessary. But that's just me. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Now, Bitcoin investors take profit as Trump's odds see volatility. The volatility of the poly market odds paired with Harris's newfound lead in traditional polling systems have inspired some profit taking. Quoting Valentin Fournier, analyst over at BRN. At the end of last week, newly released polls show Harris with a narrow 2 to 3% lead. Bullshit. Given Trump's pro-crypto stance and his ambition to position America as a digital asset leader, his potential loss is perceived as a short to medium-term setback for the Bitcoin growth potential. This political shift has contributed to the recent profit taking, reinforcing Bitcoin's ongoing price correction. But there you go, yo. We'll end the article there. Let me know how you feel this will likely fare out tomorrow. We're going to potentially get the election results by the end of the day. We're going to be streaming. We're going to be doing an election pump watch. Hope you guys can join us. It's going to be pretty lit. And let's dive into our next story of the day, discuss the $2.2 billion worth of the inflows regarding crypto funds. Crypto investment products posted another massive week as the U.S. presidential election one day out. Digital investment products saw $2.2 billion in inflows from October 26th to November 2nd, bringing the year-to-date inflows to a record-breaking $29.2 billion. The latest inflows mark 4 weeks of consecutive buying in crypto products, totaling more than $5.7 billion, or 19% of all the inflows year-to-date. The recent price appreciation pushed total assets under management to more than $100 billion for the second time in history, matching levels seen in June at $102 billion. And according to CoinShares head of research, James Butterfill, I don't know if that has any relation with Butterbean, but the latest inflows were partly driven by the euphoria, one of my favorite words, around the possible outcome of the upcoming U.S. presidential election, November 5th, quoting them here. We believe euphoria around the prospect of a Republican victory was the likely reason for these inflows, as they were the first few days of the last week. As polls have turned, we saw minor outflows on Friday, highlighting how sensitive the biddy is to the U.S. elections at present. Amen. Now, Butterfield previously highlighted similar reasons for billions of inflows in October, attributing active buying to the growing optimism over a potential Trump election win in the U.S. Now, similarly to the previous inflows, Bitcoin was almost the sole beneficiary last week, seeing roughly $2.2 billion of the inflows amid the Bitcoin price nearing its all-time high last week. Bitcoin investors, crypto investors were also actively buying short Bitcoin products, with the weekly inflows amounting to almost $9 million. But despite the recording of the $9.5 million of inflows, Ether products remain in significant contrast to a bullish trend seen in Bitcoin or Solana, which saw $5.7 million of inflows last week. The U.S. was again the biggest contributor to the market, bringing more than $2.2 billion of inflows, while Germany saw minor inflows of $5.1 million. And in contrast, Canada and Sweden led the outflows last week, seeing $24 mil and $20 mil respectively. And as mentioned, inflows in the Bitcoin ETFs have been massively growing amid the upcoming election of the U.S., with BlackRock spot Bitcoin ETF surpassing a whopping $30 billion on October 30th. Only took them 10 months to achieve it, as ETFs in the States didn't go live till January 11th. Now, some analysts have cautioned that unusually large Bitcoin inflows could be followed by bearish price movements, as big Bitcoin ETF buying has historically been followed by bearish price movements. So there you go. Let's continue with some bullishness. We're going to be discussing a $200,000 target as per Bernstein analysts. Then we'll be discussing a $1 million target this cycle, next year in 2025. So let's break this mofo down, shall we? Bernstein. Any relation to the Bernstein Bears? This was a book series I used to read when I was like in elementary school. I don't know. But a private wealth management company is known for providing analysis on emerging markets, including digital assets. Previously, they issued reports in regards to the Bitcoin growth, which included increased institutional adoption, economic influences, and its impact on the blockchain technology, yo. And I don't know why it's a little cut off, but it's like the half of the first letter. You guys should be good, right? Recently, the company has yet again made a bold prediction, which has created significant buzz with the crypto community. According to the recent prediction, Bernstein claims the price of the Bitcoin could reach 200,000 per BTC by the end of next year of 2025, regardless of the U.S. presidential election outcomes. Quoting them right here, just in 725 billion Bernstein per damn, there were 725 billion. That's 3/4 of a trillion. Predicts a Bitcoin price of 200,000 by the end of 2025, regardless of the U.S. election. Meaning it doesn't matter if Fred the raccoon or Peanut the squirrel, Trump or Kamala wins. It's irrelevant. Bitcoin's going to 200 G's, is what they're saying. The company's analyst argues that the Bitcoin price is considered to be digital gold. Scarcity of it will lead to a surge of the price of the coming year. And according to the analysis, political shift will not have any effect on the price, but factors such as institutional adoptions, upgrades, and demand within the crypto world will have a more prominent impact on the value of the Bitcoin. Now, various analysts around the entire world have predicted that the election, as it ends, the crypto community will witness a complete shift with respect to the policies. A great amount of the importance is being given to this year's presidential election, as the results will have an immense effect in defining the new crypto regulations. If Trump wins, Gary, you're motherfucking fired. Now go home and get your shine box, Gary. Now, Bernstein, however, suggests Bitcoin is known for its resilience and will rise above it all. Amen. And withstand all the fluctuations and reach its predicted value by the end of next year. Now let's discuss the market implication. Bernstein prediction could lead to an increased investor interest as both retail and institutional players consider Bitcoin a long-term bet. The predicted price also signifies hodling Bitcoin might yield significant return. Might? No, it will. Every single Bitcoin holder who has been hodling for 4 years or longer is in the green. Keep that in mind. That's what the facts are. If the prediction comes true, it would increase and accelerate the adoption of digital assets, leading to financial innovation within the industry and making America great again. Additionally, innovation could also lead to increased focus on blockchain tech, giving rise to new developments. So there you go. Let me know if you agree, disagree with Bernstein analysts and the Bernstein Bears. Now for our feature story of the day, Forbes recently published an article. Can Bitcoin reach $1 million by the end of 2025? Let's discuss how that's possible, shall we? And we're gonna get right into the fruits and veggies. I'd say meat and potatoes, but JV hasn't eaten meat since I was 16 years old. I've been vegetarian since, more than half my life. So we'll get right to the fruits and veggies. Let's get right to the predictions, shall we? Let's get right into it. So yeah, let's start here with the Bitcoin halving history. You should be able to see this live and on your screen. Welcome everyone joining the live. You can see the first Bitcoin halving was in 2012. The price on halving day was $12.35. Let that sink in for a minute. And then 150 days later, which is 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 5 months later, Bitcoin soared to $127. So just like that, within the same year, 5 months later, from $12 to $127. Bada boom, bada bing. The next halving occurred in 2016, and Bitcoin was now $650. 5 months later, $758. This is, again, only 5 months later. Clearly, the following year, we always hit the cycle peak, so consider that as well. Then in 2020, we had the third halving. Bitcoin was priced at $8,800. 5 months later, just shy of $11,000. Now let's get into 2024. We just recently had the Bitcoin halving event. It was actually on April 19th. I recall because we did a halving pump watch. How many of you were here to experience it live and in the flesh? Let me know. So yeah, Bitcoin was 62,200 on April 19th. 5 months later, 60 G's. Now, the above table shows the past halving events have established the long-term bullish drivers for the BTC price. The Bitcoin halving event relates to the deflationary tendency and crushing its supply, which helps the Bitcoin price rise further. That's right, scarcity. As Bitcoin is a decentralized crypto, any central banks or governments, they can't print it. And thus, Bitcoin's total supply is limited, capped at 21 million, unlike the Ethereum max supply, which is infinite with no max supply. Bitcoin is mathematically programmed thanks to Satoshi. There can only ever be 21 million Bitcoin in circulation, and I would speculate 5 or 6 million Bitcoin are lost, gone forever, and will never be moved again, such as Satoshi's 1.1 million estimated BTC. Now, moreover, the Bitcoin whales, referring to the large investors, have started accumulating the BTC again. Shout out to all my whales. Whale prevail. And according to the data, these large Bitcoin whales holdings as of October 14th of this year have 240,000 of the BTC in their wallets, indicating investors have been filling up their wallets. Want to know why? The whales are the smart money. They've been filling their wallets with a substantial amount of the Bitcoin. This accumulation may contribute to the boosting price of the BTC. So yeah, whale cohorts continue to rise. Again, that's the smart money. So first, let's discuss 100,000 this year, and then we'll discuss $1 million by next year, which would mean another 10x from the 100,000 target we're on the cusp of here in Q4. So yeah, the current year is the year of the Bitcoin fourth halving. It occurred April 19th to be more precise. However, happy 420. It's a beautiful number. Informs of the basis of the Bitcoin monetary supply, support its increasing scarcity by cutting the Bitcoin supply growth rate in half, which occurs every 4 years. Currently, around 19.7 million of the Bitcoin are circulated in the crypto market, meaning the majority of the BTC has already been minted, and the final Bitcoin will be minted in the year 2140, just FYI. Now, Satavik, co-founder and chief executive officer of Unocoin, believes Bitcoin's cyclical nature will pass the bull market, showing strong year-end growth, suggesting a similar pattern for 2024. Historical trends reveal an average gain of 26% in October, 36% in November, and 11% for the December Santa rally, supporting the optimism that the Bitcoin could surpass that six-figure milestone. I believe it's a given. I believe six figures in play for 2024 here in the Q4. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Now, in addition, a potential interest rate cut by the Fed may act as the catalyst, quoting them here. Lower interest rates drive investors to the high growth assets like the Bitcoin, which benefit from the weaker US dollar. While the past performance is no guarantee, Bitcoin's fundamentals remain strong. Now, JV, hit that gong. I thought you'd never ask. It's going up forever, Laura. But nonetheless, this analyst believes we will hit 100,000 here soon. Let me know if you agree or disagree. My Q4 target is the weekly cup and handle target I shared in the live charts earlier, which is sitting sexy as a mofo right now at 124 G's. But now let's discuss, can Bitcoin realistically reach $1 million by 2025? Let's break this mofo down, shall we? Hamanshu, founder and chairman of SIFDoc Blockchain. I'm probably slaughtering that name, but hey, I'm trying. While predicting Bitcoin will reach $1 million by 2025 may seem overly optimistic, several factors make such a scenario plausible. The increasing adoption of the BTC, various countries approving a Bitcoin ETF, the weakening of the traditional fiat monopoly money currencies due to the inflation, better yet, the hyperinflation and the hyper-Bitcoinization, the rising of the profitability for the Bitcoin miners, the key drivers that could significantly boost the value. Preach. He also added Standard Chartered Bank primary shareholder BlackRock, go figure, recent upward revision of the Bitcoin price prediction of 120,000 by the end of the year. I think BlackRock knows their stuff. They already have like an insane amount of the BTC. I think they've done 30 billion plus in volume since January of this year, setting breaking all records within the ETF histories of all the ETFs, including the gold ETF, yo. And Bitcoin's just getting started. It's a nascent market. It's a pup. It's a baby. It's got a lot of growing up to do. It's going up forever, Laura. And as more of the investors and institutions turn to the biddy as a hedge against the inflation, the possibility of it reaching unprecedented heights, unprecedented, becomes more conceivable, more believable. And if such sovereign funds start investing in Bitcoin or the Bitcoin ETFs, direct exposure, indirect exposure, Bitcoin doesn't discriminate. The price will undoubtedly escalate much faster. And there is no limit to the price escalation because of the quantum of these funds. Do you understand? There's a total addressable market, some would say worth a quadrillion, numbers you have never even fathomed before. Definitely north of $700 trillion. The Bitcoin market cap is just north of a freaking 1 trillion. The total crypto market cap is in the 2.5 trillion range. So we have a lot of growing up to do. So you already know. Let me know if you agree, disagree, and who are some of the analysts who believe that $1 million is realistic for this cycle? Samson Mao has been projecting a $1 million Bitcoin price. I know Stock to Flow Plan B suggesting Bitcoin ranging above $500,000 between now and the next halving of 2028. In yesterday's podcast, I shared all the major influencer predictions from the likes of Cathie Wood suggesting 2.8 million per Bitcoin, Tim Draper, 250,000 prediction, and it goes on and on. Let me know your thoughts when it comes to some of these predictions, and I will read your comments